Hi, welcome back to Wendy's Way. I'm going to make a video like I've never made before. Oh, man, this is some ugly light. I'm glad most of my face isn't going to show. Ha! Kind of. I'm going to show you how I do something that really isn't faith, food, or fiber. It's just part of my life. I've almost always, since we lived in Texas, had dogs that require grooming. And while Frodo isn't your typical requires grooming kind of dog, because he's a terrier, he's like a wire-haired terrier mix, and his hair won't continue to grow beyond this point, but at least a couple times a year, I like to give him a haircut. Oh, shoo. I think I made him nervous. He farted. But Frodo here, he's my sweet boy. He's about, well, in a month or so, he'll be 13 years old. Amazingly enough. He has survived so many things. Probably the most traumatic being bitten in the face by a rattlesnake when we lived in Texas, right in our yard. He found a baby rattlesnake under a bush. So, like I say, about twice a year, I just trim him down. And I'm no professional by any means, but for years, I've been cutting the hair, not so much a full groom. I don't always bathe, and I don't always trim the nails while I'm giving the haircut. I keep them as separate projects. But today, Frodo needs a haircut. And I also, at separate times, I do work on keeping their faces clean. You know, keeping the hair. Taryn, look at the camera. You don't want to look at the camera. That's all right. I try to keep the hair out from in front of their eyes, and I try to keep the hair out from under their tail. Because dogs with long hair, especially long curly hair, or in the case of my pumpkin, who is a Shih Tzu poodle, she has a really soft, fuzzy undercoat that just grabs poo and doesn't let go. So if you don't keep her backside shaved, you know, it'll tend to ball up on her and make a mess. And if you don't notice it and you let it go too long, then, you know, it can get hard and it can cause some real severe problems. So instead of talking about it all day, I'm just going to give Frodo a haircut. And you'll find he really is a different looking dog when you get all this hair off, because his skin is speckled. He actually has ticking all over his skin, and it doesn't show through all of his hair. You know, when his hair grows out, the brown doesn't necessarily grow out with it. So I'm going to have some fun. He doesn't think it's so much fun. But, and quite often I try and keep their feet trimmed when I do their faces and their backsides, so that I can get at their toenails with the Dremel, and so that the hair doesn't get caught in the spinning Dremel. Hi, Chugga Booger, are you ready? Yep. My trimmer is a Pro XPUTI. Xpooty. I have no idea, clippers. It's something I ordered from Amazon. It's cordless. Tells you how much battery life it has left. And it has an amazing battery life. And it has 2 settings for length on the clippers. One, you know, I would use to shave a man bald. And the other one gives me, between 1/8 and 1/4 of an inch. Guess that'd be 3/8, wouldn't it? Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm no good at measurements. So I keep it out further for the dogs. I don't want to catch their skin because that would really hurt. Oh, what was that, Frodo? Are you ready? He's pretty easy. You know, he only has a single coat, and it's pretty wiry. So it comes off pretty easily. He doesn't enjoy it. Hi, sweetie, it's all right. But I just shave him down. And then you can see all kinds of beautiful colors on him that you can't see, you know, like in addition to ticking. Turn around. This side of his face has some butterscotch coloring too, which I think is simply beautiful. And I do shave the underside of the ears as well as the top. You know, I don't save any pretty, you know, because my dogs never leave the house. The only people who see them, hi, are those people who visit my house and the people who watch my YouTube videos when I put them on ever, which isn't very often. There's a spot in the middle of his chest where the hair grows in a different direction, and it looks naked. No, let's go. It's funny. It's just a circle there where the hair grows in a different direction. So I'm shaving this way and the hair grows up right here. So it looks like I just shaved it down close at a different length, but I didn't. It was the exact same trimmer that trimmed above it. Boy, you are passing some nervous gas, my little boy. Ew. Oh, ew. My least favorite parts to shave are under their legs, you know, what I would call the armpits, and stomachs usually. You're not going to get all of it, and feet. Feet are a pain. They're sensitive. You know, there are those little pads to get around on the back and the bottom, and dew claws. Some of my kids have dew claws. Pumpkin, the little Shih Tzu poodle, she has dew claws on all four. And they grow fast, and they curl, and she doesn't want me to touch them. No. Frodo, he's a very cooperative old boy. I've only been shaving him for a few years. I just decided once that I'd like to see what he looked like shaved down. And he's really pretty. He looks like a whole different dog without the hair. But he's a sweet boy. He's had a couple attitude issues lately, but I think it's partly his age, and I think there might be something going on in his ears. I'm going to get him in here within the next week or two for vaccine updates, and I'll have her check him out. There, to feed the cats, huh? Awesome. And I try to go with the direction of the hair so that it doesn't look totally bald like that spot on his chest. Because if you shave against the hair, even if you've got your trimmer set longer, it's just going to bald them. Take them right down to the skin. Good boy. And I'll leave him some eyebrows, you know, just they need something to protect their eyes. Alright, dude. I know you don't like this at all. I know. But you're a good boy about it. You're just a good boy about it, Frodo. Yeah. You're so pretty. You really can't tell how heavy he's getting until you shave him down. Then you're like, wow, I know I've been feeding you a lot, but you're such a good boy, Frodo. You're such a good boy. Gotcha. Yeah, you gotta get that one from falling in your eye. Okay. Oh, no. Alright. And yes, I'm doing this on the island in my kitchen. You are correct. Some people would say, oh my goodness, how could you do that? Dog hair in your kitchen? Well, you know what? I have Clorox wipes. I have Norwex cleaning pads. You know, anyone who has dogs, especially dogs with long hair, they know the dog hair is a condiment, no matter what you try to do. Up you go. Up, up, up. Up, up, up. Good boy. So, I can sweep and mop the floor. I can scrub the countertops. I mean, Frodo sleeps in my bed. You know, what on earth is his hair gonna do on my kitchen counter that is so awful? You know, you do what you're comfortable with and I'll do what I'm comfortable with, and I'm sure everybody will be happy, huh? Yeah. Frodo has lived with me almost 11 years. He was probably a year and a half to 2 years old when I brought him home from the shelter, San Angelo, Texas, where we were living. I was, at the time, rescuing animals through the Humane Society of Palm Green County. They're now Concho Valley Paws in San Angelo, and they have rescued thousands of animals over the years. They're an amazing organization. They take excellent care of the animals that they save. And Frodo was, amazingly enough, at the animal shelter. I'm pretty sure he had been surrendered, and rather than running stray, he was up to date on his vaccines, and he had already been neutered. So, not knowing, because typically, you know, shelter can't always share information about animals that they receive, you know, for the privacy of an owner who surrenders. Please turn around. I suspect that he may have belonged to an older person who loved him and took care of him. They made sure, you know, that he was vaccinated, that he was neutered, and I'll never know, but I suspect that the owner may have passed away or had to go to some sort of assisted living or long-term care facility where he couldn't go along. And evidently there was no one in the neighborhood or the family who could or would take care of this young man. And I don't know what his name was before, but I named him Frodo because my husband and I were big fans of the Lord of the Rings series. So, he's Frodo Baggins. Aren't you, buddy? He's a hobbit of the Shire. Can you stand up for me, please? Oh, stand up. Oh, look at that big old belly. Buddy, you have been eating. Mommy has been feeding you? Too much. Let me reword that. You only eat what I give you, don't you, Frodo? Yeah. And some dirt and animal poo that you find outside. Wonder why it is that dogs like animal poo so much. Some dogs, like your Shih Tzus and Shih Tzu mixes, they tend to eat dog poo. And I think it's kind of not only a breed thing, but also a lot of them have, especially the rescued ones, have been used as breeders. And when a female dog has puppies, they will lick their backsides, stimulate them to go to the bathroom, and they will eat what comes out of them to keep their kennel box clean and clean up after their babies. So that might be part of dogs eating dog poo, but some dogs do and some dogs don't. But most dogs that I've taken care of will eat rabbit poop and cat poop and, you know, whatever they can get their mouths on. And yeah, I put this dish drainer pad down here to give him some traction. I don't want him to slip and slide and feel even more nervous than he already is. Oh, my birds. One of them's out and about. The other one, the cage is open and he's been invited out, but he doesn't come out of his own free will. He's a nervous boy. He didn't grow up socializing with people. So, and I'm glad the one who's out is not bothering us right now, because that would make Frodo crazy. Wouldn't it, buddy? Yeah, we're glad Romeo's in the other room, because you couldn't handle him pestering you while you're getting a haircut. You're nervous enough. Huh. And by doing this every so often, I get a better idea of his skin condition. As dogs get older, quite often they'll develop cysts and tumors and things like that you might not see or feel just in your normal everyday handling and activities, and you know, it doesn't have to be beautiful, doesn't have to be perfect. He's just living with me. I'm not picky. I love my Frodo. Pewee! He's got some nervous gas going on, I'm telling you. Wow. And yes, I even shave their tails. At least part way, and, you know, typically all the way. Especially on the little Shih Tzu poodle on my pumpkin. If I leave... Yeah, I know you hate it, buddy. Oh, I know. If I leave Fluff... Stand up, sweetheart. Yeah, that's how they stop you from shaving their tail. They sit on it. If I leave long hair at the end of her tail... Stand up, please. Come on, turn around. You're getting off your mat. I leave long hair on her tail for the third time now I say it. It tickles her butt. Drives her crazy. Sorry, bud. I know. Oh, I know. Here, come on. Oh, we need to reposition you, Frodo. I know. You keep moving and so does your pad. There we go. And by the time I'm done, I'll have a pile of hair as big as Frodo on the table. Oh boy, I should have worn a slippery shirt. Oh well. Yeah, that comes off just as well as everything else. Phew, buddy. Alright, let's turn you around. Ready? Hold still. Hold still, sweet boy. Hold still. There we go. Up. You can hear the birds talking to each other. The rolls of skin on your neck. I really need to reduce how much you're eating, don't I? You're eating too much. I'm feeding you too much. There we go. And for those of you who might be joining me for the first time, because I'm doing a doggy video, if you're not familiar with Wendy's Way and my videos, if you haven't watched them in the past, you know, those of you who know me and have watched my videos understand that I am bald because I just went through chemotherapy for ovarian cancer. And I did record a video talking about my test results last week, my follow-up after chemo test results. And I know I haven't released that yet, but I'm here to say both oncologists that I've been seeing, the one who was my surgeon, who's located in Iowa City, who removed as much of the cancer from my body as he could find, and the one in Waterloo who has been taking care of my treatment, they both agree that the chemo was very successful. Any remaining bits of cancerous tissue that were in my body by the latest CAT scan have either, and be careful around the pee-pee, he gets sensitive there too. The latest bits have either shrunk or, no, get back here, or disappeared, and that the chemotherapy was very successful. I have just started on, what day did I start it? Saturday. I started taking letrozole, which is an anti-estrogen pill. It stops your body from taking enzymes that it would normally make into testosterone and making it into estrogen. And by doing that, because my cancer was ovarian and it fed on estrogen, they are preventing regrowth and new cancer. How about that, Frodo? Are we close enough, huh? Get that off your nose. So, there we go. Gotta get the inside of that ear yet, huh? Oh, come on. You're a stinker. Come on, bring it over. There. Okay. So, that's the news. I'm doing great. I'm feeling well. I have recovered from the pneumonia and COVID-19 that I contracted at the same time I finished my chemotherapy. All right. So, that didn't take too long. And as you can see, I may have missed some spots. That's okay. I'm going to push him over a little closer to the camera. You can see the ticking on his body, these beautiful brown spots that you really couldn't see when his hair was long. You're such a beautiful boy. Oh, he gives me kisses on my nose. And on the other side too. Come here, sweetheart. Come here. Good boy. And on his cheeks, you can see the butterscotch color that really never sticks out when his hair is long. So, it's not a beautiful haircut. It's not a perfect haircut. But, you know, he feels good. And I like it when the dog's hair is short because they snuggle up with me more often and for longer periods of time. I mean, they always snuggle up with me, but because they're my babies. But they'll stay longer when they're not so warm. Ooh, a few long hairs on your leg here, I forgot. Okay, well, I'm gonna put Frodo down so that he can be a happy boy. Mwah. And I thank you for joining us on this video on Wendy's Way. And may the good Lord, who blesses us each and every day of our lives, bless you as well, today and always. Mwah.